Creationists say Lawrence Krauss is like Hitler.
That's true.
Okay, friends, on now to the topic of the day. One of Ray's favorite people on the face of the earth, Lawrence Larry Krauss.
Larry.
Larry!
No one calls him
Larry! It was him.
Oh, we're going to
He was the one that was
yeah,
there.
Larry!
Yeah.
All right, friends.
Professor Lawrence
Listen to
Krauss.
what Professor Lawrence Krauss is saying about religion.
Professor.
Oh, more questions. Yes.
Can I suggest that, the issue of religion in any society, we're a world of many different
Hey,
people.
when did Lawrence Krauss grow a goatee? That's news to me.
I've seen it a few times.
I haven't seen it. Every time I've ever seen him, he's been clean shaven. Maybe this is not Lawrence Krauss. Maybe this is, you know, alternate universe evil Lawrence Krauss.
Right. Mirror universe, Lawrence
right.
Krauss.
You know?
Goatee means evil.
Goatees are evil. If you have a goatee, you're fucking evil.
Yes.
Perhaps to defuse conflicts, we need to learn about each other. So perhaps rather than banning religion, we need to have comparative religion. And then
There's something more interesting happening on the floor.
I know. He's like,
Lawrence
wait a
Krauss
minute.
like, yeah, that's nice. I gotta get this down here. Dropped my sandwich. 5-second rule. I think it's still good.
These religions will eventually fade into being cute kind of lessons of history rather than reality.
I agree with you, but of course I think we should expose children to that, but we shouldn't expose
Lawrence
it.
Krauss has a very pockmarked face.
Yes, he does. He must have had acne problems when he was younger.
That's weird because usually like science geeks don't have that sort of thing.
Really?
Yeah, you know.
There are classes of comparative religion.
Have the
We don't have any.
Well, there are in the U.S., but they're presented as if they're all sacred. What we need to do is present comparative religion as a bunch of interesting historical anecdotes, and then and show the silly reasons why they did what they did. But absolutely, instead of shying away from it, we have to explicitly educate people to confront their own misconceptions.
I think that might be a century away. I think in the interim, at least if we learned about each other, we would be less likely to want to kill each other.
Well, you know, when you say it's a century away, when I talk about this, and it was again something I cut out from one of our remarks because I was going late. People say, well, you know, religion's been around since the dawn of man.
Whatever,
Never
Kevin
changed
Sorbo.
But I point out, and Nancy and I were just talking, we talked about this a lot. This issue of gay marriage, it's going to go away. Because if you have a child, we have a 13-year-old, they can't understand what the issue is. It's a generation, it's gone. One generation is all it takes. So I can tell you that, you know, a generation ago people have said there's no way that people would allow gay marriage, okay? And slavery, essentially a generation got rid of it. And so all you have to do,
There was a big ass war though.
change is always one generation away. And we have the children, and exactly. So if we can plant the seeds of doubt in our children, religion will go away in a generation, or at least largely go away. And that's what I think we have an obligation to do. Yeah.
Okay, so they're about to comment on the statement that he just made.
And you said they're going to compare him to Hitler for that?
That's in the title of the video.
Right. I mean, I did not hear any Hitler. I don't even see that. Like, I mean, you know, I mean, obviously I don't see it from my perspective because I agree with what he's saying for the most part. I don't agree that slavery went away in a generation, but that's neither here nor there. He's not a historian, whatever. But I don't even see how even Ray Comfort, as full of shit as he is, can spin this into some Hitler narrative. But I guess he's about to, so let's just fucking see that.
Wow, why does that guy scare me?
He scares you?
Yeah.
Because you're a pussy.
No, he was like...
Why does that guy scare me?
Just his tone, his aggressiveness, his...
Well, he's passionate about atheism, and he's passionate about his anti-God agenda. You know, anyone who...
Stop. Scary. Lawrence Krauss is scary.
Yeah.
What?
Not a word I would use to describe him.
And aggressive.
Yeah, he didn't seem very aggressive.
Where was the aggression?
Yeah.
I mean, like, to me, like a fucking hellfire and brimstone preacher is fucking aggressive. And you're gonna burn in the pits of hell. You know, that's aggressive. But Lawrence Krauss sitting there very calmly answering a fucking question. Where's the aggression at?
Yeah, the aggressive way that he was looking at the floor.
He's like, oh, yeah, sandwich. Still good. Little dusty. Anyway, religion's bullshit. So aggressive. So scary.
Believes, atheists usually hide the fact that they believe nothing created everything. Lawrence Krauss wrote a book called The Origin of Nothing. He's an atheist. Seriously, I got a review here.
I know, it makes me laugh every time I hear it.
It's scientifically impossible for nothing to create everything. This is a review from David Elder.
Wait. So, we're going to trust the word of the, not even really a theologian.
No.
But the corny, hackneyed. What is Ray Comfort anyway? He's a pastor or what the fuck?
I guess he's an evangelist,
right.
I would say.
We're going to trust an evangelist over what is science over one of the top fucking physicists in the country?
Yes.
I know that, if we just, I know we shouldn't just take Lawrence Krauss, like Lawrence Krauss is right because he's Lawrence Krauss, because that's an argument from authority. But I think that he is easily in a better position to tell us what is science and what is not science than fucking Ray Comfort is. And it's not even a matter of like who has the credibility and who doesn't. It's a matter of, what is the argumentation here? You're basically saying, something can't come from nothing because that just defies common sense. It's like, well, we're talking about the origin of the fucking universe here. We know that whatever the explanation is, it's going to be something extraordinary that defies what human common sense. Basically, they're overestimating their own perception of the world. And it makes far more sense to me that we had this. I've said this before, but it makes far more sense to me that the origin of the universe was this energetic event, this huge blast of energy, and then matter was created, and then antimatter was created, and then all of these different elements evolved over time through the process of cosmic evolution. That makes sense because it starts off with a very, in a way, simplistic event, which is just this energetic burst of the universe coming into being. Whereas their posited explanation basically invokes this complex deity who has a consciousness and a will and a capacity for imagination in the void, who can just summon things into existence with his will. And to me, that God would need an explanation. And yet they shy away from that completely. But they laugh at the idea, something can't come from nothing. Well, at some point, it kind of had to have.
Right. And the book that they were talking about that Lawrence Krauss wrote, he defines nothing as something very different than a layman would
right.
define the term nothing.
And even if you just watch his lecture on YouTube, if you just go to YouTube and type in, I think it's a universe from nothing or something like that, you just watch his 1-hour lecture and he explains that nothing as he's talking about it is not nothing as we would traditionally think of it. Because our concept of nothing is basically antiquated in a way. And it's not the same way that a physicist would look at it. And you have, if you want to understand the origin of the universe, you have to think more like a physicist and not like a fucking theologian. Or a pseudo-theologian, evangelical piece of shit.
From the New York Times, this is what he says of Krauss's book. But all there is to say about this, as far as I can see, is that Krauss is dead wrong and his religious and philosophical critics are absolutely right. You cannot have nothing create everything. He's got no prime mover. There's nothing in the beginning. It's just nothing, and then suddenly everything results. That's like saying, well, let's seriously talk about the fact of the sun being hot.
Right.
We'll talk about it for a while. Is it hot or isn't it? Or is water wet? There's certain things that are axiomatic. And a prime mover, the creator, the eternal creator, is axiomatic. You cannot have a creation or nature without a creator. So,
what? That's a horrible analogy. And I've already delved into why, but
he has to define everything that exists as a creation.
yeah, I mean, like, I mean, if you define our existence as a creation, then yes, it had to have a creator. But if it didn't have a creator, then it's not a creation. Just because something exists doesn't mean it was created in the sense of this is a conscious act that this is going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. But where's the Hitler thing?
We'll see.
he has zero credibility. Absolutely. Everything he says, I take it back to his foolish philosophy that nothing created everything.
Yeah, well, and not just that, but what he does is he uses that terminology, nothing, or the word nothing, but then he clarifies how it's not really nothing.
It's something.
It's something. I mean, seriously, it's just like randomly taking water and then calling it dirt, but then describe.
No. Bad analogy.
No, it's like saying, you know what it's like? It's like saying that water, it's like going to someone who had this prior conception of water before we understood, like, that there is, the world exists on a molecular level too. And saying to them, actually, this is not just one, this is not some thing, we're not really seeing the true nature of this. This is actually made of molecules of hydrogen and oxygen, and them saying, that's not what water is. Ha ha ha, stupid. You can't redefine water like that.
How, well, it's not really dirt, it's actually really water. It's just stupid.
No, you cannot even get an
I know,
analogy.
that doesn't even...
No
really
analogy
doesn't.
cuts it. It's just it's intellectually embarrassing to even talk about it.
Right. Yeah, Miguel, you know, it says in Romans 1, professing to be wise, they became fools. I'm really interested to know what the word fools is in Spanish. ¿Qué es? ¿Qué es, Miguel? Por favor.
Tontos.
Tontos.
You know,
Is it really?
I like that word.
Sounds like
that was just my interpretation of it. But you know,
It's a low-rageous horse.
Ray said,
Tonto.
Tonto, tonto, menso.
That's right.
Menso. Menso is another, and people who know Spanish know what I'm saying. So,
Sí, sí, me gusta mucho, Miguel.
you know, Ray mentioned something. He's very passionate about this, and that's how I take it that we as Christians should be. We should be passionate about the gospel. We should be passionate.
Okay. Are they?
They are passionate
Yeah,
about it.
right.
I mean, that's why there's this whole big atheist versus theist debate that's constantly going on and has been playing out for a number of years now. I mean, obviously it's been playing out for far longer than a number of years, but really in the last decade or so, it's really fucking heated up. And that's because both sides are passionate.
Passionate about fulfilling the Great Commission. And that brought to mind, you know, the Apostle Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 4, where he's saying, I give you this charge, preach the word, be ready in season and out of season, convince, rebuke, exhort with long-suffering and teaching, because he says later on, there's going to come a time where people are not going to want to hear any type of sound doctrine, or they're going to surround themselves with certain type of teachers. I think that as Christians, we need to be ready, we need to be preaching the gospel, and we need to fulfill the Great Commission. Because, you know, it is easy, it is really dumb to say, like Richard Dawkins, took nothing and created everything. Well, what is nothing? Nothing, right? That's foolishness, basically. So I think that people are blinded, and when they come to be a disciple of Christ and they know the
What the fuck has this guy even said since he started talking?
Nothing. I think that you know, it's funny because they're sitting there talking about nothing, but they're also saying nothing.
They're saying something, but it's also nothing. There you go. There's your example.
There, yeah. There's proof that it's possible right there. But no, I mean, like, this is ludicrous because they're sitting there acting like, man, this scientific explanation is just total bunk. It's so obvious that everything was created by our magical sky daddy. If only you could see the logic of that. It's like, okay, so explain the existence of that then, which we've never even you've never demonstrated to exist in any way, shape, or form. But even positing his existence, even giving that to you, where the fuck did he come from? Well, he's just eternal. It's like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense.
word and they do become disciples, they will know the truth, and the truth will set them free of all of this nonsense. So, you know, more so now, how it is so important now for us as Christians to really be sharing the gospel and shedding light and bringing the truth of the gospel to
Yeah. Amen.
Yes, it wasn't Tonto. That was
mental.
his horse's name was Silver.
Oh, Silver, right.
Silver. Yeah, I was just going to say the 86th person who gets the Lone Ranger's horse name wins something.
Yeah, you know,
Wins
I'll
a
tell you what
something.
about Krauss.
Wins of something.
Just the glee that he got from the thought of eradicating, and it's not religion. He hates Christianity.
Yes.
He hates Christ.
It's not
And-
religion.
Moral accountability.
Right.
What?
And but the way he said that in a generation.
He's saying, oh, it's not just religion in general that Lawrence Krauss hates. It's Christianity.
That's not even true. If you actually go on YouTube, you can watch him debate Muslims. As
yeah,
well.
yeah. He's been critical of
He's been
many
critical
different
of
religions.
All religions. It's not like he's singled out Christianity.
Look at his fucking face.
Holy shit.
You look scary now. Now I'm the one who's scared of
Someone
you.
needs to. Can we take the banner off this for a second?
Okay.
Because I want people to screen cap this and write captions for it. All right, everyone, full screen this shit. Do a fucking screen capture and come up with a funny caption and send it to our page, and we'll feature some on the show if they're funny.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there's, you know, I'm already, you know, the "you gonna get raped" meme.
Yeah.
That would fit here, I think. But no, I want people to come up with some other things you could say, because that dude looks batshit insane.
I
at the
know.
moment.
Yeah. Send it to us as a private message.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, we're gonna put ourselves back on now.
That is fucking
Holy
priceless.
shit, that is a priceless expression.
And that's what we should do. Plant those seeds of doubt. You know, it's our responsibility.
Yeah.
And
Plant the seeds of doubt
No,
in what exactly? Because you don't want anyone to doubt your religion. You want people to just believe that.
Look, all you have to do is just, if you just didn't teach kids about religion until they were like 15, no one would believe it, unless they were fucking crazy. Like, if you just, I mean, like, if you just, like, let's say you only heard about religion as, like, an adult, you would never, ever be like, holy shit, this is the truth.
Well, that's what happens when people are exposed to religions that they weren't aware of until they were adults.
Right. That's why there's so few Scientologists. You know, because it's very hard to convince someone who's already grown that something like that is true. But if you fucking tell them from the time they're a little ass kid, Jesus died for your sins, little Billy. It's like, wow, really?
you know,
Hitler said similar things.
There it is, right there.
There we go. Hitler said similar things.
that's exactly what I was going to say. It
Give
was
me the youth.
reminiscent of.
Give me the youth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, very, very terrifying, friends. And that, again, reminds us of the importance of reminding you to raise up the next generation.
So many Christians use the Hitler Trump
said
card.
similar things. All right. Let's pull up some Hitler quotes.
Yeah, because that was the first thing I thought. Hitler.
Yeah, I saw Lawrence Krauss, and I'm like, holy shit, it's like Hitler's back from the fucking dead.
He's looking at the ground, just like Hitler did. I don't remember Hitler saying that he wanted to eradicate religion.
Let's hear what Hitler did say about religion, actually.
Religion in general, not just Judaism.
Right. Good old Hitler. Good old fucking Hitler. I believe that I am acting in accordance with the will of the Almighty Creator. By defending myself against the Jew, I am fighting for the work of the Lord.
Right.
Hitler. That's interesting.
Right.
So Hitler was a believer.
No, he was definitely an atheist.
We demand liberty for all religious denominations in the state so far as they are not a danger to it and do not militate against the morality and moral sense of the German race. The party as such stands for positive Christianity, but does not bind itself in matter of creed to any particular confession. It combats the Jewish materialist spirit within and without us, and is convinced that our nation can achieve permanent health from within only on the principle the common interest before self-interest. Good old Hitler.
With the seeds of the gospel planted in their hearts. That's our responsibility as parents.
Here's another one. In boundless love as a Christian and as a man, I read through the passage which tells us how the Lord at last rose in his might and seized the scourge to drive out of the temple the brood of vipers and adders. How terrific was his fight for the world against the Jewish poison. He had shed his blood upon the cross. As a Christian, I have no duty to allow myself to be cheated, but I have the duty to be a fighter for truth and justice. That's the kind of shit Hitler said. So, hey guys, I don't know. I think you guys might have a little bit more in common with Hitler than Lawrence fucking Krauss does. Just saying.
Yeah.